Happy Monday, everyone! We are back this week with Jess Karr, and she's going to be showing us how to make our own stickers, which I'm super psyched about because I want to make them and I know my kids are going to want to make them. So get your supplies ready. She's going to tell us exactly what you need if you didn't catch the supply list at the beginning of this. But again, welcome. Happy you're here. For those of you that don't know, I'm Sarah Krajewski, an elementary art teacher and host of your Instagram Make Art With Me time, where we get to be creative and make art together, as well as just have conversations about art and kind of keeping our spark alive a little bit. So we're going to get Jess in here, but I do know you'll need a little bit of some non-traditional materials, like packing tape, if you have packing tape, or just clear tape. I think it'll probably work, but again, Jess will tell us for sure, just allowing her. And then parchment paper. So if you don't have those things, go grab those, and then things like paper, coloring tools, and a scissors. Those are pretty classic. Hi, Jess!
Hey,
How are you doing, friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm like so psyched to see you today. I was just hyping up our materials, and I was just saying I've never made these before, and I'm super psyched about it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the making part, can you tell everyone just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Jess Karr, and I am an elementary art teacher working in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm going into my 14th year of teaching.
Ooh, I mean, I feel like once you get past 5, I don't know, it's kind of like, what is time? Or maybe
Yeah.
it's still that way. I'm not sure.
Kind of like being in my 30s, I think. Yeah.
I think so. It's like 31 is the same as 38. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you said you're elementary level, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And I know sometimes when we make art at this time, we do things that might just be for us to be creative, but also can be things we use in our classroom. And I love this because I know you've done this with your students before, and I'm super psyched about it.
Yeah.
Quick reminder for everybody, we do always save our Instagram live chats to the IGTV tab for the Art of Ed. So if you ever miss it or want to rewatch old ones, just go ahead and click back on our homepage. Like today's chat will be saved, and you can always watch it or catch it later. So Jess, why don't we dive in? What do we need to start with?
Yeah, so packing tape, just like clear packing tape. I think I heard you mention like any clear tape. I'm not super sure that like Scotch tape would work too well. So you want something a little bit wider and a little bit more heavy duty. Definitely some scissors, probably something a little bit smaller, because these are going to be, some of them will be pretty small, like handheld size. And then just whatever kind of paper you want to use. Honestly, printer paper works really well, because if you're putting it on like a curved surface, you want it to be able to bend. But also, I didn't mention this, but if you want to go the non-drawing route, I just like cut out some fun things that I found in an old magazine. You could even it's already made. Yeah.
That's perfect. And also, I mean, just fun for if you kind of want to just do it mindlessly and pick things you're interested in, but also as a secondary option for if you're doing this in your classroom and kids are feeling a little stressed to draw something. Or I believe, did you mention like coloring sheets before too, or colored images that they could pick from?
Yeah, if you just have, like, I like to make these little like reference pages for my kids, and so they can like cut out whatever they want, or you can cut them out already ready to go, and they can just grab what they want and get started coloring. Awesome. That's kind of how I did it with my younger kiddos. They just kind of, we had a coloring day and then we had an assembly day.
Awesome. Did they wear their stickers outside of class?
Oh my gosh, they wanted to put them on before they were even done. They were obsessed.
Okay, I love. And probably on like the face,
of course,
or the arms. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
This is this is like prime sticker spot. I don't know what it is about the forehead, but it's really exciting. Well, I'm just gonna turn my camera down here a little bit. Why don't you show us how we're gonna get started with some? I assume designing is first.
Yeah. So I just started with. Okay, I'm trying to get the. Can you see that?
Yeah, that looks great.
Okay. So I just started with just filling a page with just some sketches, some basic shapes like circles and rectangles work really nicely too, because then you can fill them up however you want. It doesn't even need to be a real life object. You could just use abstract designs. I made a sticker design earlier that was just like a little mini Zentangle on some yellow paper. So something like that would work.
Love it.
And yeah, just kind of doodle, go to town, and Are you sure I'm okay? Am I upside down or anything?
No, well,
Okay.
I mean, technically you're upside down, but we can tell what it is.
Okay.
And I feel like it's like no different than demoing. Like, we just draw upside down naturally. It's fine.
All right. So yeah, I just kind of spend a little bit of time explaining that the sticker needs to be like the size of the palm of your hand, and we can keep this really simple. It doesn't need to be crazy unless they want it to be.
Okay.
I have this little station in my room. We call it mini masterpiece, and it's just little 2x2 squares of scrap paper, and they like to use those for stickers too.
Ooh, and what can you tell us about the mini masterpiece? That, like, what's the traditional use for it?
Yeah, they it started as like an early finisher thing, but now sometimes they just grab them whenever. And then I started covering my door with them. They're like little postage stamp kind of style. Just a bunch of little quirky designs.
That's fun. So, like, almost just an extra quick drawing prompt with low pressure since it's this size. Nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love it. And those seem like having that paper kind of ready for sticker making. Like, this seems like a really cool thing to show students near the beginning of the year, so they always have it as an option to come back to anytime they're wanting a little bit of extra choice time that might be different than simply sketchbook drawing or something like that.
Exactly. And I need to put the disclaimer out here. This was not my idea. I actually, one of my 6th grade students was telling me about it.
Nice.
And we were talking during art one day, and I was like, I really can't wrap my head around how you're doing this. Like, we need to look this up. So we YouTubed it, and of course, there's all kinds of videos on it. I just, didn't realize that it was a thing. And so that night, I was just, adding packing tape to my Amazon shopping cart, and it's like, we're doing this, and we were
absolutely. I mean, some of the best ideas. Some of the, the easiest times you get inspired are when the kids or somebody comes in with a new exciting idea, and you just take it and make it your own way of how you would teach your students.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said earlier, the options for this are really infinite. They could turn this into like an identity piece. They could make like a personal logo. They could use it to, stickers are just such a great way to express yourself, right?
I love it. Yeah.
You can tell a lot about a person by the kind of stickers they have on their laptop.
Completely. I literally have this entire bin of stickers that I need to put on things, and it's overflowing. And I was just thinking about how I need to put them on. I have them. My whole laptop is covered, so I'm going to need to find a different surface, but,
Yeah. I'm a sticker collector, too. I have a hard time, like, really just, it's like a tattoo. It's so permanent, and then you feel like you can't take it off of there, so.
I know. Where do you typically put your stickers?
I have an iPad case. I stick them to. My son takes them from me, and he sticks them to his forehead. I don't know.
Naturally, of course. Yes. I also was thinking too, again, if, of course, it's fun to just do this for yourself, but if you ever want to do it with your students and have it match something that might be something your school is working on or a certain class is working on, like I'm picturing upcoming art show, the kids just making their own stickers to promote the art show and going home with them, or
100%.
Doing like sticker trades or like, different things that are coming up at school. It's bike to school day or whatever, and just doing kind of a little reminder that way.
I love that. I did have an idea of using this as a fundraiser. I try to do a fundraiser every year, and I love the idea of this being personalized and like handmade.
Yes,
it would be so fun.
Yeah, and it's not super difficult. I mean, not that things, difficulty is subjective, but I think given the option to have students use something that's already printed or trade or something that makes it so that it's pretty attainable for all is pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. I ended up covering the glass window on my classroom door, and that became a nice little collection space in my classroom. Because I did have to make the disclaimer, we can't stick this to school property, but
right.
But
okay,
they are I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just gonna say they're not as permanent as like a traditional like vinyl sticker. I do actually, I'll show you some on my coffee cup. Like the marker ones, the water does kind of seep in and kind
Oh,
of,
sure.
you know, over time. But a student made me this little alien one, and that kind of held up over time pretty well. So maybe colored pencil is a better option for longevity, it
Yeah,
seems.
maybe just by the purpose of water safety or something being kind of more watertight. That sounds like a
Hmm.
good option. And markers, I feel like tend to fade unless you've got super high quality markers. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a little tricky. As we transition to possibly moving on to cutting, because I'm just anticipating the second part being where the
Yeah.
like
Yep.
real power comes from. Can you just remind us about how you do fundraisers, whether it's
Oh.
stickers or your other options? I always love hearing how teachers choose to do them if they so choose.
Yeah, I've done a couple of different ones over the years. The first one I did was one of those Art to Me shows,
Yeah.
where they, you know, they give you the supplies and the frames and all of that stuff. I did that. That was great. But more recently, there was a company called My Cards. I actually think they just went out of business, but I know
Oh, no.
I think there are other companies out there that do it. But, you know, they send you the paper and with a template, and you know, they can create a card design, and then they can order a box of cards with their design on it. And
Nice.
that's always a big hit.
And something that's not super huge that you can do like small versions of things,
Yeah.
like square one or those other little options are always fun to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so tips for cutting. What do we need to know?
Yeah.
What would you tell the students?
Yeah.
Or me? I'm your
Yep.
student.
So I think that it works best. I mean, I don't want to say works best. You can see what it looks like without cutting a white border around it, and you can see what it looks like with a white border. So that's personal preference, however you like to do that. But you don't need to cut like in between spaces. I just kind of, with the kids, it's easier just to leave those the way that they are. So really just, you know, try and keep the basic shape, kind of like if you were drawing a bubble letter. You just want to kind of cut a bubble shape around
Okay.
your shape. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I like having the example too of both options because, you know, things with that kind of crispy, clean white edge can be really nice, especially when there's some negative space on the inside.
Yeah.
But other times when it goes right up to the edge, you know, it can be really eye-catching as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's definitely something to keep in mind, that even that is a style choice, how you choose to cut.
Absolutely.
Can I ask about your fundraising, Jess? Do you typically have an idea of how you're going to be spending those funds, or just fundraise to fundraise? Because we always need money.
Yeah. Well, I think fundraising is great for a couple of reasons. I think it just creates some visibility for your art department no matter what, like aside
Yeah.
from an art show. It's something that, you know, is getting the community and the parents involved in a different way. And I also, to be quite frank, really just love that, you know, they're sending me some materials.
Yeah, totally.
So that's always a perk. But I tend to use my fundraising funds for non-consumables. I like to use centers in my classroom, and I have a lot of manipulatives that I like to incorporate in that. So things like magnetiles and blocks, things like that is what I'm mostly spending my funds on.
I love that. I think that's helpful too, because when you know that that's where your money's going, you can kind of see it, and it feels like you're making progress towards adding to your classroom, you know, giving your students that really great artistic experience and lots of choice.
Right.
I saw Laura Lee Chambers comment, if we're both lefties. I think it does flip the camera because I am right-handed. Are you, Jess?
Yes, I'm right-handed too.
So it must be like this little trick of the eye. Okay, so I have both of my little pieces cut out.
Great.
What's next?
Yeah, next we're going to find a piece of parchment paper. You'll put your designs to the side. And
I was just going to joke that parchment paper is one of those things that I typically like always buy because I think I never have any. So I have, I don't know, 4 rolls of parchment paper. So like we're good.
Perfect. You can make a giant sticker.
There you go.
So when I'm explaining this to the kids, I tell them that they're making a paper sandwich. So what they're
Ooh.
going to do is they're going to put their paper between two pieces of tape.
Okay.
And the first thing that you're going to do is lay your tape sticky side down onto your parchment paper. And the parchment paper is going to act as that protective backing so that it doesn't stick right away. It only sticks when you peel that parchment paper off the back.
Okay.
So
So
I'm just going to take my parchment paper or my tape and cover. You could do like literally, you could cover the whole piece of parchment paper if you wanted to. So you've got it ready to go.
right.
This is the part that like lower elementary struggled with. So I would suggest, like, I had the most success with this with third grade and up.
Okay.
Third grade was even a little tricky just because of like manipulating the roll of tape. I have this handy like holder, but they didn't all have that. So you know how clear tape can be.
Oh yeah. Tape in general is an interesting material because I know students absolutely love using it, but it can be really frustrating. Like the trying to tear in the air and it rolling up. So even just those little tricks of like holding it, tape it on the table first before you try to tear it or something. But like all those little things can be helpful, but also very frustrating for students.
Absolutely. And some of the kids realize that like it doesn't stick really very well, and it's not supposed to. It's just this, you know, bottom layer of your sticker design. So
got it.
You're just going to cover like a nice space, and then you can lay out like however many designs you have, leaving a little bit of space in between them, because when you cut them out, you'll want there to be a border around them, because that is what will create the seal around your paper.
Especially like that watertight piece if you're wanting to put it on something that might have a little bit of a watery component.
Right.
Can I ask too, because I just did 2 strips of the packing tape next to each other and overlap them by maybe 3 millimeters. Is that what you would suggest?
Yes, that seems great.
Okay, perfect.
So now you're going to cover them up, and the same kind of concept. You want to overlap where you can.
Okay. This is the paper sandwich. I always want to call it a tape sandwich, but obviously it's like so confusing.
I know.
And I'm just naturally sort of like smushing and flattening everything down. Are there any tricks for that or anything you would suggest there?
Yeah, I just like run my finger around the edge. You're going to get little air bubbles no matter what, but it's okay. It's pretty impossible to make them perfectly flat unless you've done it a million times.
I don't even remember exactly what it's called, so maybe somebody can drop it into the chat, but there is packing tape, as my Sharpie is stuck to my tape. There is packing tape that's maybe twice as wide as this. I think it's called maybe bookend tape or book something tape, and I've used that a bunch in my classroom when I'm doing things like cleaning sketchbook edges or something that really needs a hefty piece, and I think that would be super helpful to get that extra wide packing tape.
Oh yeah, I've used that too to hang stuff. It's
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it's called, Jess? I'm blanking.
I do think it's called book tape. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
All right. So you've got your paper sandwich, and you're kind of squishing those 2 pieces of tape together just to make sure you have a good seal. And then with my little kids, just to make sure that they understand like the shape that they need to cut, I actually had them flip it over, and I would either draw the shape depending on the grade or the class, or I would have them draw like a bubble shape around their design so they know where they need to be cutting.
Yeah.
Because if you cut right along that edge, it'll just peel apart.
That's perfect. And I also love the idea of it being on the parchment, because then it doesn't deter from the design, since I believe the parchment is what you take off, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, super smart. Okay, prepping the sticker.
Yeah, this can be kind of tricky because it might want to come off the back a little bit. I think that the tape that I am using today is actually a better quality. Maybe low quality tape sticks better. I don't know.
I do find that sometimes that's the same, like certain materials, you just want to get that cheap version that's going to be have the right amount of non-adhesive qualities.
Yeah.
So now we're just cutting, obviously, to get around the outside part here.
Yeah, we're just cutting out our shapes, and then the stickers will be ready to stick wherever you want or add to your collection and
Woo!
trade with a friend. Send in the mail if anybody does snail mail anymore these days. I know I do.
I mean, snail mail. Hello, my little snail with my
Yeah,
hat.
exactly.
I know a couple kiddos of mine that have done sticker trades, or they do like sticker mail things. So they'll send a whole bunch of stickers to their friends. And how cute would it be if they had stickers they made themselves?
I love that. Yeah,
yes.
my 6-year-old for his birthday, he made a sticker for each of his friends and put them in their treat bag.
That's adorable. I love it so much. I already want to peel them off because I can peel the parchment paper so happily, just being like, goodbye.
Yeah, I'm going to add my rainbow here to my cup.
Yes. Okay, I'll put it on my little mason jar here. So then obviously it's like super easy peasy. The whole back is sticky.
Yep.
Love.
And you're good to go.
Oh my God!
Before you know it, you've got a sticker business.
I can't even. It's so simple and so fun.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, all thanks to my student Emmeline. If you're watching, shout out.
Yes! I know. I love ideas come from all over, and we're all just recycling things together to give our kiddos the best opportunity that they can have. So it's all good there. Jess, I know we have a couple minutes left here. If anyone has any questions about how to make the stickers or anything else that you're wondering about, please drop it into the chat here. I see again, like keeping old sticker albums. I was definitely that kid that would save stickers and be like, I'm not going to use this. It's a puffy sticker. It's a furry sticker. Obviously I can't. So, I mean, it's nice to have the ability to just use it right away. Maybe I need to like put it on my forehead or like, just like really get into it. So obviously the school year is getting kind of close. Can you tell us anything that you're hopefully looking forward to for next school year?
Well, I'm in a little bit of a transition period right now. I just found out last week that I'm moving schools, and my first day, my open house is in 1 week from today. So I'm on a little bit of a time crunch right now, but I'll be getting to know a whole new group of students, a whole new staff. So I have big changes coming this week. Big changes.
Yeah. Okay, sending you all the best vibes.
Thanks.
Take it easy. Go slow. You're going to be amazing. I mean, 14 16 years?
14.
Yeah, like that, you know what that's all about, but it still is scary to try to find your groove with things. So a little, I'll just say it can be tricky when you don't have the control to be able to move or stay. So I appreciate your flexibility, and I'm sure your district does as well. Yes, and I also saw a couple other questions here too about, yes, we will be having the demonstration saved on IGTV. So if y'all want to check it out, just go to the Art of Ed page, click on those little tabs at the top, and you'll be able to find all of our past Make Art With Me moments. So a lot of change is hopefully exciting, but very much scary. And then I know you discussed having your kiddos do a lot of choice options at the end of their lessons. Do you have anything else to leave us with in regards to that? Because I'm always looking for ideas, and I know other art teachers are too.
Yeah, I think we discussed it, but that's why this lesson is so great, because the kids, have a lot of choices and autonomy, and, how much structure they want, and, what kind of subject matter they want to explore, and they get to express themselves, which ultimately is the best. So, I'm always looking for those little things, and it's a quick win. Who doesn't love a quick win? It's a big confidence boost, and I think we all need that.
Completely, yeah. Feeling like you've done something, you're successful, we're good, it's low pressure, but also just really engaging.
Yeah, and then just keep all the supplies in a copy box and just pull it out when you need it. And the kids.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I am excited. I think I'm going to show my students this right at the beginning when I'm doing sketchbooks with them and just say, this is always an option for when you finish early, because that's just perfect. I have like the notes in my head of all the things, so let's see if this gets remembered. I don't know. And then Jess, I've been forgetting to ask all of my guests this, but I'm curious if you have any advice or words of encouragement for us moving forward, maybe just to tell yourself, honestly, but because it's nice for us to feel that community with other creatives.
Yeah, I think just try to stay positive. It's really hard these days, especially, and try not to listen to the noise. Just focus on you and what's important to you, and everything will work out.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you for those kind words. And thank you so much for this super quick, effective, amazing lesson. You're the best.
My pleasure. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, Jess. All right, y'all. Also, don't forget, if you do want to share what you've created today, you could win a chance to get one of these beautiful stickers and another sticker moment, because I know y'all love stickers. So just feel free to share in your story or on your post and tag the Art of Ed, tag Jess can you remind me of your handle again?
Jess Karr Art.
Jess Karr Art, Karr, Jess Karr Art, and go ahead and show us what you all created today so that we can see that you're all making with us. Thank you, Jess. Have an amazing Monday, and we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.